It's finally over. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj just crossed the line. Good day, and welcome back to Celebrity Watch Gist, the only place on the internet where the tea is always hot, the receipts are always ready, and absolutely nobody is safe. Now, before we get into today's topic, I need you to stop whatever you are doing. Put down that sandwich, pause that other video, because what we are about to unpack today is not just drama. It is a full-blown, multi-year, no-holds-barred, certified unhinged saga between two of the most powerful women in hip-hop history. We are talking about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. And honey, this beef, it did not just simmer. It boiled over, exploded, set the kitchen on fire, and took the whole neighborhood with it. Quick favor, if you are loving this already, hit that subscribe button right now. Over 92% of viewers have not done it yet. It is completely free, takes about a second, and means the world to us. Thanks. If you just did that, you are officially one of the good ones. Now, back to the show. Let us rewind the clock, because you cannot understand where we are today without understanding where all of this started. Picture this. It is 2017. Cardi B has just exploded onto the scene with Bodak Yellow. She went from reality TV star to chart-topping phenomenon, seemingly overnight. The internet was obsessed, the culture was shook, and somewhere, allegedly, Nicki Minaj was watching. Now, to be fair, Nicki had been running the female rap game almost single-handedly for nearly a decade at that point. She built the throne, she decorated it, she put her name on the deed. So when a new queen showed up, not just knocking on the door, but kicking it clean off its hinges, well, you can imagine the tension. At first, things were tense, but manageable. The kind of tension you feel at a family dinner when somebody brings up a topic everyone agreed not to discuss. Polite smiles, loaded glances, carefully worded interviews. But then came New York Fashion Week 2018, and everything went from a slow burn to a 5-alarm fire in the span of about 30 seconds. If you do not know what happened at that Harper's Bazaar party, allow me to paint the picture. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj ended up at the same event. Words were exchanged, and not the kind you put on a greeting card. Cardi reportedly threw a stiletto, not a metaphorical stiletto, an actual shoe. A heel became a weapon. She walked away with a massive bump on her forehead and one fewer shoe than she arrived with. The whole thing was chaotic, messy, and undeniably iconic in the most reckless way possible. Security was involved, people were shoved, and the entire celebrity world woke up the next morning to headlines that read like a movie trailer. Because honestly, it kind of was. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because both women handled the aftermath very differently, and those differences tell you everything you need to know about both of them. Cardi posted on Instagram almost immediately, voice cracking, emotions running high, saying she had tried to keep it professional, but enough was enough. She talked about rumors being spread about her ability as a mother, and that was the line she was not willing to let anyone cross. She was raw, she was unfiltered, very Cardi. Nicki, on the other hand, addressed it on her Queen radio show with the kind of cool, calculated delivery that reminded you exactly why she had survived in this industry for as long as she had. She denied spreading the rumors, she called the behavior embarrassing, and she brought receipts, or at least her version of them. And that right there is the engine that has kept this beef running all these years. Two completely different communication styles crashing into each other at full speed. Cardi is impulsive, emotional, and in your face. Nicki is strategic, methodical, and cuts deep with precision. It's like watching a flamethrower go up against a scalpel. Both dangerous, completely different vibes. But here's what nobody was talking about loudly enough. the industry politics underneath all of this. Because this was never just about two women who personally couldn't stand each other. This was about radio play, playlist placements, features, collaborations that mysteriously fell through, and the very real, very uncomfortable reality that the music industry has historically struggled to hold space for more than one dominant woman in rap at a time. That's not me being dramatic. That's a documented pattern, and both Cardi and Nicki have spoken about it different ways at different times. The tragedy is that instead of dismantling that system together, the system got them to fight each other inside of it. Think about that for a second. Two of the most talented, most streamed, most decorated female rappers of their generation, and the conversation became about who threw a shoe instead of who changed the game. Now, fast forward, because the beef did not end with a shoe. Oh no. That was just the opening act. Over the following years, there were subliminal shots in songs. There were loaded Instagram posts. There were interviews where every other word felt like it had a zip code attached to it, clearly addressed to someone specific while maintaining plausible deniability. There were fans, the Barbs on one side, the Barty gang on the other, going absolutely feral online. Death threats, harassment campaigns, doxing, people losing jobs, friendships destroyed over allegiances to women who will never know their names. And that part stopped being funny a long time ago. Because somewhere along the line, the drama crossed a line from celebrity gossip into something genuinely harmful. When fan bases are mobilizing to ruin regular people's lives over a rap beef, we have left entertainment territory entirely. And both women have had to reckon with that, sometimes publicly, sometimes not. A real question worth asking is, at what point does influence become responsibility? Then things took a new turn. There were moments, brief, almost imperceptible moments, where it seemed like the temperature between them was dropping. Cardi gave an interview where she said she did not hate Nicki and wished her well. Nicki made comments that were almost diplomatic. Fans on both sides collectively held their breath. Could it be? Could the greatest beef in modern female rap history actually be heading toward peace? Were we about to see a collaboration that would break the internet, shatter streaming records, and restore balance to the universe? And then, just when you thought things were cooling down, somebody said something, or posted something, or liked the wrong comment, or unfollowed at the wrong moment, and just like that, we were back to square one. Because that is the nature of a feud that has gone on this long. It develops a life of its own. At some point, the original grievance almost does not matter anymore. What matters is the narrative. And both women, whether they intend to or not, have become characters in a story bigger than either of them. Which brings us to right now. Because recently, things escalated again in a way that genuinely made people stop scrolling. The details are messy, the timeline is disputed depending on whose side you are getting the story from, and naturally, social media has done what social media does, which is take a situation that is already complicated and pour 10 gallons of gasoline onto it while everyone films themselves reacting. New allegations, new call-outs, new layers added to a beef that already had more layers than a very dramatic onion. And the question everyone is asking, the question that brought you here today, is whether this has finally, truly, irreversibly gone too far. Have Cardi B and Nicki Minaj crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed? Have they done damage not just to each other, but to their legacies, their brands, and the broader conversation about women in hip-hop? Or is this just another chapter in a story that will eventually end with a headline none of us saw coming? Here's my honest take. Both of these women are generational talents. That is not up for debate. Nicki Minaj redefined what a female rapper could be in terms of longevity, versatility, and commercial dominance. Cardi B broke barriers that people said were unbreakable and did it while being unapologetically herself at every turn. The world is big enough for both of them. The industry should be big enough for both of them. And the saddest version of the story is one where 10 years from now, people remember the beef more than the music.
The line has been crossed, multiple times, in multiple directions. The question now is whether either of them has the courage to be the one who decides the story ends differently than it started. Because here's the thing about feuds. They always cost more than people budget for, in energy, in opportunity, in peace of mind. And at some point, the most powerful move is not the cleverest clapback or the most devastating subliminal. The most powerful move is choosing not to play anymore. But then again, this is Celebrity Watchgist, and if they squash it tomorrow, we'll cover that too. Because honestly, we're here for all of it. Thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means everything to us. We'll see you in the next one.